What's going on? Oh my god, the light. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a Chaseontwowheels first ride here at Mountain Motorsports in Roswell. And in front of us we have a 2017 Yamaha FZ-07 with ABS. This is a phenomenal motorcycle and I cannot wait to check out this new model. Here we go. Alrighty guys, not gonna lie to you, I was, for some reason, I guess I got my bikes mixed up, I was under the impression that the new 2017 FZ-07 had ABS and I thought it had modes, like different rider modes. And with some research here at the bike, I found out it doesn't have modes, but the FZ-07 has been, to date, one of my favorite bikes to do a first ride on. So I'm going to do it anyway, because I'm here, and why not? Dude, I feel like I'm a torpedo. Look at these things. You know, you get this little cheap material. I absolutely love it, and I just love little detailing. I don't know if the GoPro will pick it up, but these little details, I freaking love it. All right, let's get this bike going. Oh, God, is it on? I can't even hear it. You are upright. You are super upright on this bike. You are not leaned over at all. I mean, if you want to lean over, your arms are going to get all bent out of shape and stuff like that, but, you know, it's not too bad. I did slowly just engine brake in I ran into the gas tank, though. That new bike situation where even the seat is polished up. Oh, what do you guys think about my new little GoPro mount thing? It kind of matches everything, so it even matches my little battery pack on the back of the helmet. I thought it was pretty cool. You guys can let me know what you think about it. Wow, that rear brake is terrible. It's like squishing on a pile of mashed potatoes. Alrighty, FZ-07 2017 first ride. Man, I'm kind of sad this bike didn't have modes. I felt like if you gave this bike ABS for, you know, newer riders, because this is a fantastic bike for newer riders. And I thought Yamaha was like, man, the FZ class of bikes is doing great. Let's give new riders ABS and rider modes, and it'll be awesome. So that's kind of sad that they didn't do that. I love this bike as a first bike, because it's got the speed, it's got the torque to really have a good time with, and it's cheap. This bike is like right under $7 grand. You get a really torquey engine for that price that is going to let you have a ton of fun on. Literally, there has been no more bike, maybe other than the FZ-09 back in maybe 2015, that I have wheelied more on a first ride than an FZ-07. They are so much fun. Everything's controllable. Oh, that little seat behind the rider. So thankful that that's there, because this little bike has enough power to throw you back and literally hit that back seat. It's phenomenal. So I personally started on an SV650. I've said that in many first rides, and I'm so glad I did. This is the This is the amount of engine that you can get in trouble with starting out, but it's not too much to where you can't grow into it and keep the bike for an extended period of time. Now, 300s are great to start on, but man, starting on like a 650 class bike, which is very similar to this, it just works out, man. If I started riding these days, like if I had a young Chase and he was like 16 or whatever age, and he was like, I'm gonna get my first bike, what should I get? I think it would be an FZ-07, especially the 2017 model. So this model has ABS. If you're a new rider, you might not know what ABS is. ABS is anti-lock braking system. So what that does for you is if you get into a situation where you just grab a handful of front brake, it's actually not going to let the front or the rear wheel lock up on you, which if you were a new rider, you might be inclined to lock the wheel up, you know, if you're scared or in a position you don't know what to do in. Oh, cool. Just, I'll do a wheelie and a van will get in front of me. Just genius. So, I'm not a great wheelier with motorcycles. The bike has to have a specific torque area and a specific type of power that makes me feel comfortable enough to be able to do wheelies on them. This bike is that zone. This is the sporty road bike that I probably can wheelie the best. Because I just really like how the power is. It's a really grunty, tiny bike that has the power to throw the front wheel up if you clutch it up. And if you don't clutch it up, you can still just like give it a handful of throttle. That front wheel is still going to come up. And the reason I'm saying that is because I'm talking about this as a first bike. And what I'm trying to illustrate is if you get this for a first bike, it's not like, oh, it's a first bike and it's no more fun, you know? Like, you've got plenty of power to have a really good time for a long time with this bike, far past that first time riding. Okay, like once you get used to the bike, you're then gonna have plenty of enjoyment out of the bike afterwards. Where's the turn signal? Like, I'm looking for it and I don't want to hit the freaking horn or anything. I also realized there's a cop behind me, so now I'm slightly terrified with all the wheelies and stuff. Well, we'll see what happens. One thing I love about this bike, as opposed to its bigger brother, the FZ-09, is this centered instrument panel. Makes it so much easier to see. Like, I can see what's going on. I don't have this like off-centered weird thing. That rear brake, unless you put all of your weight on it, is pretty garbage. You gotta be 100% transparent. Down low, this thing has got a ton of torque. I'm getting thrown back when I throttle up, and I'm being thrown forward with the engine braking whenever I throttle down and come to an engine braking stop. Here's the highway on this beautiful naked machine. I don't necessarily want one because I think if I got it, I'd get in a lot of trouble with wheeling on the road and stuff. So I'm kind of glad I don't have one. But if I was to just be given a motorcycle, this would not be a bad one. Alright, Mr. Wind, let's see how we fare with you. Woo! Oh god, terrible. One good thing about these bikes, they're super popular, and it has like, this bike doesn't have any type of wind resistance up front, but the bikes are so popular that you don't have a problem with getting like a windscreen or something like that. And my goodness, if you're gonna ride on the highway, you have to get a freaking windscreen. It is terrible. My head's just going all over the place. I know it's a slightly windier day, but man, if I was commuting to work in the morning, the last thing I want to do early in the morning is sit here and be a bobblehead, you know, for 15-20 minutes. Or if I'm touring or something, you know, this has got a torquey, fun to ride engine. And you're gonna have to get on the highway here in America at some point in time, and you don't want to dread the highway, you know. As far as power goes, I'm going 88 on the highway, and I've still got plenty of power in fifth. At about 100 though, you're getting up there, you know. I'm sure the bike will go up to about 120 or something, but think about it. Do you really want to go 120 on a bike with no windshield? I sure as hell don't. I will tell you that right now. So yeah, are you going to be able to keep up with your super sport friends if they're like just rocketing down the highway? Probably not. that power that this bike has, that really fun torquey power, is definitely the lower speeds. You got to ride the bike as it's intended, man. This bike is not made to go 160 on the highway. You know, it's made, I feel, to go on a medium speed road to a slow road with that torquey little engine to get you everywhere. It's super light too, so it's just going back and forth super easily, which makes me feel like that's what it's made for. It's not made to be a heavy, big engine highway motorcycle. I mean, it's really a fantastic freaking starter bike. Another thing that makes this bike fantastic as a starter bike is how low to the ground it is. I'm 5'10", I've got bent knees, and I'm flat footing the bike on the ground with no problem. In the situation where you're going to come to an abrupt stop thanks to your ABS, a lot of the times people will drop their bike because they lean from one side to the other, or they have a large amount of the weight go over. And if you have a taller bike, you're trying to hold that weight on your tippy toes. But if it's a smaller bike, you got a full foot down, you could handle all the weight. That being said, I think the heaviest this bike is 400 pounds, which is pretty freaking light, especially for that the grunty engine that it's got. So it's not a super heavy bike, so it's going to be more easily controlled, especially for newer riders that don't do leg day. With a little practice, you can get that front wheel up and stay up. I don't have time to practice it, but I can certainly get that wheel up enough to... There's just a super fun factor to a naked bike with a torquey engine that it kind of makes you feel like Supermoto. Despite it having such an upright body position, leaning the bike over feels totally fine. Being so light kind of helps with that. It doesn't take a lot of input to get the bike back and forth. Having such an upright body position is also going to help you maneuver the bike in a slow speed situation. So that is super helpful with new riders as well, because when somebody starts riding, they're not used to the weight of the bike and having to deal with that. And having a light bike where you're upright, you can maneuver this thing like around a parking lot, for instance, is what I'm kind of talking about. You know, thinking about this bike and how I was saying I wanted rider modes on it, I don't know if I want rider modes on this thing now. Like, it's super torquey, and I could see the validity in having a mode where it was like way toned down. So maybe like an all-in, like an A mode, then like a B mode with a couple things are tuned down. But I don't know. I think I'm kind of happy with it like this. There can only be so much you expect out of a bike that's around the $7,000 range, you know? Brand new, with no miles. I think it's like 7,200. That's with ABS. I don't think there's too much you can ask for, you know, much higher than that. Now, if you got higher than that, I would look at, you know, rider modes, traction control. So with riding so many Ducatis lately, something I'm really appreciating with a Yamaha is the easeability to get into neutral. Might not sound like a big deal, is actually a big deal. Some bikes just do not like getting into neutral, man. They really, really don't. Well, another cool thing, again, we're on a cheap motorcycle, it's got a gear indicator. My R6 doesn't have a gear indicator. You know what I mean? Like, it also gives it a more premium feel. So it's like, I feel like Yamaha did a good job of skimping on what they needed to in this bike and then not skimping on what they shouldn't. So, phenomenal engine. The bike feels fantastic. Like, is there some cheap plastic on it? Yeah, absolutely. Is that cost saving and not really required to be super nice? Yeah. Like, it's nice when a motorcycle, I'm fine with cutting cost here and there, but like when you cut cost of stuff that's like needed, that's when it sucks. Like, for instance, and we'll stick with Yamaha so it's fair, the FZ-09 cut cost on the suspension. That is a place that really makes a bike suck if you really cut the cost on it. So that was a bad idea on Yamaha's part to cut the cut that down. Now, from my first ride, I can tell you that they have definitely helped that out. The new FZ-09 is much better. I guess what I'm saying is cost cutting is totally fine as long as you cut costs in the right spots. I'm gonna scare this woman. Oh, this is a fun little motorcycle to ride hard and do wheelies on, yeah. It's so easy. If it wasn't so easy, I wouldn't be doing it. You know what I'm saying? We're back on main roads. Not as many wheelies. Not no wheelies, just not as many. And I got the red light. Luck hath be in my favor. It wheelies like my WR, and it makes me so happy. It's got this little baby torquey engine that it makes you feel safe doing stupid stuff. So bigger bikes like the FZ-09, I don't wheelie as much because I'm not used to so much power throwing me back up. Now this bike throws you back. It's got awesome torque, especially for the engine size, but it doesn't have it too much to where you're not like, I mean, I can clutch it out, right? Like, it's the FZ-07, the phenomenal starter bike that doesn't have to be a starter bike. Here's an example of this bike being what I consider a really good starter bike, but also a phenomenal bike for somebody that has been riding for a long time. There's another motovlogger, a lot of you guys know, Jake the Garden Snake, just got, like, I don't know if he got a 2017, but he got an FZ-07, and the engine hasn't changed at all, if not much. But dude's been riding for a very long time, gets an FZ-07. You know what I mean? Like, if it wasn't a good bike, guys with experience wouldn't buy the bike. But when you see guys that have been riding for a long time get a motorcycle like that, that has to make you think, like, that bike can't be bad, because, like, why the hell would you buy a bike that's bad, right? Like, that makes zero sense. Now, I'm not saying base all your purchase decisions off bikes that other motovloggers have. I'm just using that specific user case as an example of where this bike is being ridden by somebody with a lot of experience to prove that it is a good bike for an experienced rider, on top of being a phenomenal first ride bike. Not phenomenal first ride bike, phenomenal first motorcycle. I don't know if you guys can tell with the little camera down here, but as far as arm position, I told you guys I'm very upright. My arms are super relaxed, and it's a really comfortable position. Like, the entire riding position is just really comfortable. You know, my arms aren't high up or down low, or I'm not leaned up too far to hurt my back. It's kind of just chill. I am what I am, and that gives me a lot of leverage, especially when I'm wheeling, because I've got these handlebars and I'm able to be like, wah, wah, wah. Alright guys, we're gonna pull in here and get this bike looked at and check it out. Crap, we're gonna have to park over. Where should we park? There's cars where we normally are. We're normally at old 149. We'll go over here. So let's take a gander at this motorcycle. Alrighty, I think you guys can probably tell I'm a fan of the color. So this is the stuff I was talking about earlier. You guys might be able to see it better in the light. See that material? It's like this, I don't even know how you would describe that. I like it though. I like the contrast of the black and the red. I gotta be honest, this is kind of hideous, especially like these are a joke. This thing kind of looks like a Frankenstein monster where it's got stuff poking out, and even if you took these off, it's still got these weird poke out things. Not a big fan of the headlight area. So you can see the ABS little disc right here. For you guys that are new that don't know about motorcycles, if you see these little dotted lines, that means the bike has ABS on it. So if you want to look for that, that's what to look for. Engine looks great. I don't like the silver. I wish you would just black the whole damn thing out, Yamaha. Here's the tail light that I always said the FZ-09 needed. By the way, guys, this thing is also called MT-07, and in America it's called the FZ-07. So if you can't find an FZ-07 in your country, it's probably because you're not in America. Check these out. So I assume these are for handles, so if I'm moving the bike around, I've got a place to hold. I appreciate that stuff. Having to move bikes around the garage all the dang time, sometimes you don't have a spot to grab a bike at. I don't know what the hell is up with this thing, but it kind of looks cool. I don't know what it's for, whatever, probably adjusting things, but I like it. I think the bike looks pretty good, man. The front just kind of messes this whole bike up for me, but overall it's not bad. Oh my god, why is that so silver? Why can't it be black? So what we're going to do now is crank the bike up and let you guys listen to it. If you want to hear what this bike sounds actually like, what I do is a blog post over all the bikes I do my first rides on over on Chaseontwowheels.com. I take some pretty photos, I get an audio sound clip, and I kind of rate the bike. So if you guys want to check that out, top link in the description will take you there on all of my first rides. So if you're interested, go check it out. If you're not, well then let's listen to this thing. I also don't like how the key is like, all this is here and then the key's like hidden up here. It's like, where's the key? I don't know. Give me the damn key. Here we go, 2017 FZ-07. Silence, my friend. It's quiet, man. There is no getting around it. The bike is quiet. Could be a good thing if you want to go to parking lots and do wheelies, but if you want a loud, monstrous machine, this is probably not the bike for you. Let's ride this thing a little more, and by ride this thing a little more, I mean do one more wheelie. There is a kid/guy over there, so he might hear me, but I don't have to worry because I've got a quiet bike. Yay! Oh my goodness, why? Okay, no more wheelies. That was officially the last wheelie. Not doing any more, I promise you. I, Chaseontwowheels, promise you, YouTube, I will do no more wheelies. No, I'm not going to do any more. I don't want to get in trouble, and I've had a really good time, and I don't want to end it on a bad sour note like a nasty-ass green piece of candy. The joke there is green candies for the majority of the time are sour apple, sour getting a ticket and talking to a cop like blah, blah, blah. Anyway, what do I think about the 2017 FZ-07 from Yamaha, aka MT-07, also from Yamaha. Phenomenal first time motorcycle. If you have never ridden before and you get this motorcycle, not only is it cheap, brand new, but you are going to have a fantastic time for a long time to come. Your bike is going to get you all of its money's worth in wheelies alone. As a seasoned rider, is it a good bike? Abso-freaking-lutely. It's cheap. It has that fun supermoto feel where you can just do stupid stuff on it and have a really good time, and it's a forgiving motorcycle. It's got tons of torque, which is going to give you a lot of fun in downtown or slower speed situations, as you have seen throughout this first ride. Does it do well at high speeds on the highway? No, not really. It's a naked bike. You can always get a windscreen to make that better for you. And this is a really popular base bike that people modify all the time. The good thing about that, if you get this bike, is there's going to be tons of accessories and mods you can get for it to make it customized to however you like the motorcycle. So who is the bike for? First time riders, long time riders that want a torquey fun bike, and it can do track days. Yeah, it can do track days, especially the smaller tracks when you need a lot of torque would be phenomenal. For long highway missions and cruises and stuff, depending on the accessories you get, it's just a really good all-around motorcycle, man. I don't think anybody that rides this is gonna have too many complaints. You know what? I just thought of a little idea. I'm gonna start giving first ride bikes towards the end a pixel helmet rating. This little guy. So I've got that pixel logo and I like it a lot. So I'm gonna start giving all first ride bikes pixel helmet ratings. The 2017 FZ-07 gets 4.5 pixel helmets out of 5. Why? Because nothing's perfect. Being a little spontaneous. So yeah, 4.5 pixel helmets out of 5, because this is a awesome all-around motorcycle, unlike this BMW front brakes though. So yeah guys, let me know what you think about the pixel helmet rating system in the comments down below, and let me know what you think about the bike. Before I get out of here, I do have to say a big old thank you to Mountain Motorsports. They are a motorcycle dealer up here in North Georgia, and they are the phenomenal individuals that let me ride all of these bikes for the first time, to let you guys know what they're like riding them for the first time, so you can make more informed purchasing or viewing decisions. And guys, if you enjoyed this type of content, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to get way more first rides all up in your life. I appreciate you guys riding with me on this little first ride. I'm Chaseontwowheels. This has been a Chaseontwowheels first ride, and I'll see you on the next one. Later!